making statue monsters comes to life, which started to attack Yuan, that it was the wizard that has been stealing all those treasurable items from their city, turning them into medicines, which could make him more powerful. Before they could do anything, the wizard has already swallowed the medicine, which did not only cure the injury on his face, but it also made him more powerful. Instantly, Meng Yuan and Shihu gets attacked by the monster controlled by the wizard, but Shihu slices it into several pieces with her sword. Unfortunately, the monster still didn't die. Instead, all the pieces of the monsters came back together and attack Shihu with full force, which removes her mask, exposing her identity in the process. The wizard uses his magic to try and finish them off, but the wizard have his way. During the fight, Meng Yuan notices that the monsters attacking them has a weakness, which is their eyes. Without wasting much time, Meng Yuan and Shihu started to attack it one by aiming for the eyes, which killed them instantly. The goat also manages to untie its body and assist them in the fight. With teamwork, they were finally able to subdue the wizard, making him to fall into the fire he was about to use for sacrifice. But this causes the fire uses his body as shield to protect Shihu, and they all successfully managed to make their escape. On their way, the goat started to claim that he was cursed to become a goat. This goat name is called Xiao Bao. Meng Yuan believes the goat is just boasting about himself, so he can get Shihu's attention. Xiao Bao became furious on how Meng Yuan keeps on his true powers to prove to them his capabilities, but it didn't work. We suddenly see tiny glowing creatures flying around them, which was the most beautiful thing Meng Yuan has ever experienced in his life. Shihu asks Meng Yuan why he's really trying so hard to catch the monster. He replies saying in his city everyone treats him like a nobody, but if he manages to capture a monster, everyone will start to respect him and even pronounce him a warrior. What really gave Meng Yuan the inspiration was General Ho, who was regarded a nobody just like him. The old general was suddenly removed, and General Ho was appointed as the new general. Shihu tells him that she understands how he feels and will teach him how to fight, so he can use this skill to capture Kimu, which will help him fulfill his dreams into becoming a warrior. Suddenly, they both continue their journey, and Shihu started to train him how to fight, which makes their relationship stronger, as Meng Yuan started to fall in love with her. Meanwhile, we see so many monsters heading towards the city, which was being led by their alpha. In the other hand, Meng Yuan Kimu, and they were chasing after it, and they ended up in the caves filled up with baby monsters. Suddenly, we see a gigantic worm coming out from the ground, and as it was about to devour Xiaobao, Kimu comes out from nowhere and rescues him. We also find out that those baby monsters we saw in the caves are its children. The gigantic monster started to chase after Meng Yuan and Shihu until they ended up in a cave, filled up with a very hot lava, but still the giant worm didn't stop attacking them. The giant monster suddenly slips, and as it was about to fall into the lava, he grabs Meng Yuan, so it can fall together with him. Meng Yuan is so afraid, and begs Xiao Bao to help. Xiao Bao tries to help by unleashing his powers, but it just doesn't work. Immediately, Shihu hurries and cuts off the tongue of the worm monster, but sadly, the poison of the monster touches her, making her to faint. Meng Yuan quickly carries her on his back, and they both tries to find a way out. He sees a river and hurriedly builds a boat, so it can help them swim out of the caves. Meng Yuan stares at her face, promising himself to find a cure for her. Later on, we see Kimu, which was the monster Meng Yuan was trying to capture, but he notices that the monster was really scared and was also looking for a way out. But unfortunately, another problem came by, as their boat was hit by a rock, causing them to sink into the rivers. Meng Yuan realizes that they both can't make it outside the rivers, so he sacrifices himself by pushing Shihu out of the water, which makes his body to hit rock beneath the water in the process. A few moments later, Shihu wakes up from unconsciousness, and as she quickly looks around, she sees Meng Yuan is also safe, making her relieved. Meng Yuan discovers that it was Kimu, who had rescued them in the rivers, according to the old woman, who later saw them unconscious and decided to shelter them. A few moments later, we find Shi Wu treating the wounds Meng Yuan sustained from the river. Meng Yuan also asks about her purpose of capturing Kimu. She replies to him, saying she came from a place called Tangan, a city which was far away from his city, Qingyang. Since when she was little, she was entirely different from everyone. Her grandfather tells her that her lifespan is short, which will cause her not to live long. Her grandfather takes Shihu to so many places around the world, to find her real family. Although they didn't find anything no matter how hard they tried, but her grandfather still never gave up on her. During their journey, the Kimu apprehended them, and her grandfather died in the process of protecting her. Immediately after that moment, she started hunting down the monster to avenge her grandfather's death. To cheer her up, Meng Yuan takes Shihu at the marketplace. Here we see a festival ongoing, as we see a lot of people appearing in different costumes. Meng Yuan tells Shihu that knowing her is the best thing that has happened to him in his life, and promises to help her find her real family no matter what. During their conversation, Meng Yuan sees those arrogant warriors from his city, chasing down the Kimu. Shihu and Meng Yuan also decided to join them, to capture the monster. After a long struggle, Meng Yuan manages to set a trap which captures the monster. As Shihu angrily was about to end the monster and take her revenge, Meng Yuan stops her, reminding her about how the monster saved their lives at the rivers. Suddenly, those rude warriors appears again and tries to capture Kimu, but Meng Yuan stops them. He and Shihu engages in an epic battle with them. We find out that it wasn't the monster, Kimu, that caused her grandfather's death, but these rude warriors. Shihu becomes so outraged after finding out that it was those rude warriors that caused her grandfather death, and as she was about to finish them off, General Ho appears and stops her. Misunderstanding what really happened, General Ho wants to punish her for trying to harm a warrior. She couldn't forgive those arrogant warriors who caused her grandfather's death, so she angrily frees herself and tries to attack them, but General Ho stops her with his sword. Meng Yuan comes in her way and begs her to calm down, so she won't do something stupid, but it only made her so disappointed with him. Meng Yuan kneels down before General Ho, begging him to spare her life, and also tells him that she also helped in capturing Kimu. But he also pronounces involved in capturing the monster. She sees all this and left Meng Yuan, as she is so disappointed with him. A few days later, Meng Yuan is appointed a warrior and was given a high rank among the army. And the people from that moment started to praise and respect him. But still, Meng Yuan felt so disappointed with himself. Later that night, the whole city gets attacked by numerous monsters. We see Kimu, who was already captured and was tortured by those arrogant warriors. Immediately, Meng Yuan appears and stops them. He releases Kimu from the chain to escape. But shockingly, the monster carries Meng Yuan on its back and runs away. It takes Meng Yuan to where a very precious stone is kept, and he finds out that the monsters were not attacking their city to harm them, but only take the stone to make them live. Suddenly, General Ho appears and requested the stone from him, but he refuses. Outraged, General Ho tries to attack him, but Shihu and Xiao